Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. You guys are going to get a hoot out of this video. It's one of my experiences with a website. I call it the baby eBay. I guess it's pronounced Mercari or Mercy. And it's a pretty good site. You know, you can find some pretty good deals. But they have a culture on that site. And I'm going to tell you the culture in a minute. So I was looking for a mixer, you know, for my setup. So I went on there and I found this one for, it was only like 60 bucks plus shipping. It's a Samick mixer. I'll try to show a little bit because it's heavy and big. Hold on for a minute. And the guy that's selling it said it was in good working condition, just some mild wear, you know, surface scuffs, which is not a big deal. So it came Thursday, but I've been so busy with my projects that I was not able to test it until last night. And now what I try to do is test these things as soon as they show up. So if there's a problem, I contact the seller. So I got out the box yesterday, plugged it in, and something told me to turn down my headphones, which I did. So I plugged it in, plugged my headphones on, turned it on, made all this noise. I almost jumped out of my chair from all that static and noise. So I tested all of the channels, all of them staticky. I plugged my plugs into any of the inputs staticky. I put the plug into the monitor to kick the signal out into another device. It was staticky. So I didn't want to go through the problem of sending this back. I'm like, I just lose 60, 70 bucks. It's not a big deal. I'm not happy, but I don't want to be wagging this to the post office or anything of that nature. So I'll eat it, you know, eat the price or take a loss. So I went in and I left feedback because I'm like, I'm at this point now, because I told you guys about that incident with my car. I buried that guy called Morris, man, that lived, you know, several months ago. That guy he's died now. You know, I'm giving people exactly what they're giving me, you know. So I went in and left appropriate feedback, and the feedback was not malicious or getting back. It was just the truth. I said, apparently the seller did not test the item, even though he claimed he tested, and I'm going to read what he said he claimed he did in a minute. He didn't test the item. It came not working. You know, it's so staticky, I can't even use this thing. So I'm just going to toss it in the garbage, and I wasted my money. So I get a comment from him. And I got something similar from another guy. It's like, okay, I'm not responsible for you, you know, selling your product that's faulty. So his, you know, that's the comment I left as far as a piece of garbage. I wasted my money. It doesn't work. Even though he claimed it did. He said, you should have contacted me for a refund, not leaving a 1-star. I gave you what you deserved, and that's what you deserved. He's so worried about his feedback as opposed to sending me something that worked, and when he claimed that it worked. So again, instead of leaving me a 1-star, now here's the lie, and this is a lie. I had this unit thoroughly tested by a professional. Professional of what? And it was working properly except for a little static, as I described. And I cut and pasted to him what he exactly said in his description. And it was not anything of it's static. He said it was in working condition with mild wear. As I described, what you did was not needed because, yes, it was. You could have gotten a refund. It's not the money is not the issue. It's the fact that you selling stuff you don't even test, and you lied and said you tested it. So here's my response to that nonsense, because it's obviously not working. And you could have just simply stuck some headphones in there and tested it, you know. You didn't need no professional, which he didn't get nobody. He's just lying. Let me pull up what I wrote. Okay. My friend, I'm a professional musician. Parentheses. Apparently you're not. This unit was not looked over by a professional. There was so much static coming from the headset and the plugs that it hurt my ears when I plugged it in to the headphones. No honesty at all. Please, capital letters, check your gear before you sell them. You claim in your description that there was just a little static, which was not mentioned in that. Below is verbatim what your ad stated, and it said description. Samick SM1200 mixing console, very good condition, mild wear. That's it. And shit about static or anything, and he didn't have anybody test this thing. So it's like I find it just interesting because I had another guy off the same site. He sold me a computer that had malware. It took me 3 days to get that malware off my computer because malware is kind of it's set up and it's smart. It's not like a virus. Malware deliberately try to keep you from getting on the internet to get a virus protective to load it on your computer. So what I had to do was download a security or virus protection software from my other computer, load it onto a disk drive, a DVD, then load it up to that computer to get rid of the malware. I mean, that was a challenge. I mean, it took me a couple of days to get that resolved. And he knew when he sold it to me that it had malware. And he had to say, and I gave him the appropriate feedback, and he had the same nonsense as this guy. You should have contacted me first. You should have just checked and fixed your unit before you sold it. Test it before you sell it, And this guy didn't test it, and then on top of that, he gonna last it. He went and got a professional. Why would you go to all that trouble? And who specializes in checking mixers, So again, it's a pretty good site, but there's some people, they full of BS and they liars because this guy just straight out lied that he claimed that he had somebody thoroughly tested. No, you didn't, and it only had a little static. And it was so much static, again, can't even use the thing. So I'm going to end up throwing this in the garbage, like I have to do with that Roland VS recorder that came. But I did get my money back for that, but he was like, I should have checked with him first. You should have sent me something out that worked, man. You should have tested this thing. It don't take a professional to test this. You could have just took a pair of headphones, stuck it in there and started turning knobs to see if there was any static. But a lot of people now get their stuff from storage lockers or, whatever, real estates, and they just sell it. 15 years ago when people sold gear, that was their gear. They're musicians. They tested it. It works. Or if it don't work, they'll tell you. I don't ever recall 10, 15 years ago like they do now on eBay, and I wish eBay would stop this nonsense. Selling for parts, not working. Who wants to buy your junk, Nobody 10 years ago sold stuff that didn't work. They got rid of it or fixed it and sold it. But now people think they can just pawn off garbage on you, and it's okay and they can get away with it. Because again, it wasn't an issue of me losing the money. It was an issue of me letting him know that this didn't work and other people know too. So maybe now in the future moving forwards for this clown that he would test this stuff to make sure it works. Because I even got some people on watching this same website. I powered it up, but I haven't tested it. Would you please test it before you sell it to somebody else? Because this guy didn't think I should have sent him it. I should have contacted him first. And I'm like, I'm giving what you deserve, dude. If you would have tested your item before you sold it, we wouldn't be going through this. We wouldn't be having this dialogue. You dropped the ball. I'm not trying to be, malicious or giving payback. I'm just stating what I got. And what I got was something that didn't work when you claimed that it was in good working condition with just malware. This is just not a good day today. Because I'm going to mention this because I'm not going to make a whole video out of this. I do a long going video on Lawn Freak, my neighbor. We had an exchange about cats. I'm like, dude, those are not my cats. Call the city and let them round them up. Even though I'm trying to do my part as a good neighbor and make things right, I've captured over 14 cats in traps in my yard and took them somewhere else, because they were becoming a nuisance. But I'm like, this is not my job. This is the city job, so contact the city so they can fix this. And ever since then, out of spite, he takes his sales papers and tosses them in my yard. I toss them right back. And when I tossed it right back, that one been sitting in his lawn for about almost a month. And then he was out there lawnmower and picking up the leaves. And I'm looking at him, and then I look out there. He done took the paper that I put back in his yard, which is his paper, and put it back in my yard again. So I went right back out there and threw it in his yard. I'm like, how long we gonna keep doing this, man? We two grown-ass men, and you acting like a kid. The last time you threw your paper in my yard, I was the bigger person. I threw it away. I'm like, I don't want to keep seeing this. But when he did it again, I'm like, I'm not going to be throwing your paper out, man. That's not my job. So this time when I tossed it back out there, he finally, after 4 weeks of that paper being out there in the rain, getting moldy, put it in a trash bag and took it out. You should have done that the first day that paper came, man, if you didn't want it, instead of throwing it in my yard. You get tired of people and their childish antics. This guy and then this guy who sold me some that don't work, and then get mad because I stated the truth in the feedback. I'm like, what kind of feedback were you expecting when you sent me something that I wasted $60 to $70 on that don't work? You figure it out, But I'm gonna sign off now. But just you get tired of interacting with people. Like I told you, when my wife retired, and actually we can do that now, I'm moving. And I'm moving to an area that I ain't got to interact with a lot of people. I want to be by myself, doing my thing, and not having to interact with idiots. So that's going to be a change that's going to take place next year for sure. This time next year, I won't be here. Won't have to deal with this nonsense. Till next time, take care, and thanks for watching.